main rally rate of the planet is gaining momentum, and the second day was also not without drama. If the defending champion Sam Sunderland fell victim to the first stage, then the legendary Sebastien Loeb dropped out of the second of the contenders for victory. The main sensation of the day in the standings of motorcycles in the second stage was Michael Docherty, the debutant, performing in the RALL White 2 standings. Half stage went at the pace of Daniel Sanders, and fought with him for the victory. Closer to the finish line, Docherty's pace dropped, but Sanders also slowed down, so as not to open the track in the third stage. Yesterday's winner Ricky Brabec. This unpleasant duty today cost 10 minutes. The victory, and with it the leadership in the general classification, went to the American Mason Klein, who's 1.5 minutes ahead of another KTM representative Toby Price. Joan Barreda Borth, Kevin Benavides and Daniel Sanders were next, while Ricky Brabec fell back to 6th position at the end of the day. However, the whole struggle is ahead, and a dozen pilots are holding 10 minutes from the leader. For quads, the whole day passed under the sign of the struggle between Alexander Girard and Manuel Andujar, and the latter managed to get ahead before the final segment. However, at the end of the special stage, Andujar lost about 8 minutes, and did not even get into the top 3 of the classification. Victory for Girard, and the second line in the classification of the stage for Pablo Capetti. In the off-road category, the track was opened by the leader of the race, Carlos Sainz. The Matador was predictably losing time, although not too much. Nasser Al-Attiyah went on the attack, but won back only 5 minutes from the Spaniard. The leadership in the overall standings remained with Sainz, but his lead over Nasser, who soared to second place, was reduced to 2 minutes and a quarter. The second time at the stage was shown by Eric van Loon. The Dutchman was walking at the pace of Al-Attiyah, and even ahead of him, but gradually began to lose towards the finish line, and showed time 14 seconds worse than the Qatari. This means that Al-Attiyah will have to open the track of the third stage. The main disappointment of Monday was the 1.5-hour loss due to punctures by Sebastien Loeb. For many years, the legendary Frenchman has been trying to conquer the Dakar, and on the second day of the marathon, he loses a real chance to impose a fight on the leaders. The stage was very rocky, you had to go slowly and avoid punctures, but we punctured tires 3 times. One had to be repaired right on the track, which cost a lot of time, Seb lamented at the finish line. That day, Stefan Peterhansel also lost a lot. In each of the segments, the Frenchman was inferior to his rivals, lost a total of half an hour, and is now at the end of the top 10. Other Frenchmen were closest to the leaders. Mathieu Serradori and Simon Witz, as well as the most experienced Giniel de Villiers and Yazid Al-Raji on Toyotas. The crew of Denis Krotov and Konstantin Zhiltsov showed the 24th time at the stage, and kept on the 22nd line of the overall standings. In the T3 prototype standings, race leader Francisco Lopez Quintardo walked almost the entire stage with the best time, but Chaleco lost at the finish line under the onslaught of Mitchell Guthrie, for whom this is only the third Dakar, and the 4th stage victory in his career. Chaleco still leads the overall standings, but Seth Quintero, Guillaume de Mavois and Guthrie are less than 10 minutes behind. In the standings of the T4 all-terrain vehicles, Gottschall is again in the lead, but not Eric, but Marek, his father. Gottschall Sr. took a high pace from the very first kilometer, and overcame the special stage with the best time. Second place in the overall standings belongs to Rodrigo Lupi de Oliveira, and Eric fell back to 4th place. He loses less than 15 minutes to the leader. Yesterday's truck leader Martin Mikic ran into problems in the second stage. The Czech overcame the first 2 segments without serious loss of time, but on the 3rd and 5th, he stood for half an hour. At the end of the day, Mikic lost more than an hour, and fell out of the top 3 of the general classification. At the second stage, the Czech Ails Lapres showed the best result. The second place was taken by the Dutchman Janus van Kasteren. The top 3 was closed by another representative of the Netherlands, Martin van den Brink. On January 3rd, the caravan of the race will leave Al Ula for Hail Dakar. Sports director David Costera assures that the start of the special stage will give the participants the most beautiful kilometers of the rally. The organizers also promise a lot of elevation changes and mesmerizing canyons. The distance of the qualifying special stage will be 447 kilometers, and in addition, the crews will have to overcome 221 kilometers of liaisons.